Right, we've got Frenzy. Now with Frenzy, you get this red button that you can press to release some of the items. And you can see there, we finished with a Frenzy. Therefore, we'll be getting the Frenzy bonus. Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Mario Kart Tour. Today we're talking about the brand new tour that will be coming in just over 24 hours our way, the Winter Tour. And on top of that, we're going to be looking at changes that have come in version 1.2.0 and what that will mean for the game. Let's get into it. Right, so first of all, let's get into the brand new tour that is coming, the Winter Tour. Something that, you know, we expected for December, the year leading up to Christmas. It only made sense that we'd have some winter themed maps, and looks like we're going to get some newly added courses and challenges with that. So we got a little sneak peek of a course there in the top with the Christmas tree, looking like very festive. When the current tour ends, its tour gifts and Spotlight Drivers Karts gliders will no longer be obtainable. So if you have some spare gems over and you're trying to pull from the Peach Spotlight, do it quick because she won't be available. Potentially they might reappear in future pipes though, so there will be opportunity if you don't have enough gems like me and didn't pull Peach. How do tours work? There are a few different ways you want to play with it. So we're going to expect the same usual things, you know, Grand Stars, completing challenges, which we're going to be looking at on Wednesday. Going to be putting out all the challenges and how to complete on them. We haven't got an update on what the characters will be, what the new drivers, karts, and gliders will look like. If they're following suit, we'll see that tomorrow. So I'll probably do an update if we do get that information to know what we're pulling for in the next pipe launch. So I'm excited for that. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got Wednesday off, so I'm going to be hammering it on Wednesday, playing through. As well as that, we have some changes that have come up with a brand new update. So version 1.2.0 has been released, and there's some pretty big changes in it. Some things where I'm quite happy that they've put in. Definitely some needed to be made unfair based on your settings. So a button has been added to the bottom of the screen, which replaces the rear view mirror button. Personally, I think that's a welcome change. The rear view mirror button, its positioning had problems for me. I would press it, and if you don't press it in the perfect spot, what will happen is your kart start instantly turning and you end up going into the wall, slowing you down and losing your place. So I'm really happy that they've moved that now, put it to the right, so hopefully it won't have too much impact like it did before. So we can see it's in the bottom right of that screen. That allows you to drift or steer depending on manual drift setting. That's what the new button will do. The rear view mirror button has been relocated. So when manual drift is on, it depends on what settings. It's going to be different whether you use manual drift on or off. Tap and slide on the screen to perform a small jump to begin drifting. Tap and slide from the steer button on the bottom of the screen to steer your car without performing a jump. So it looks like we're going to get a new feature of being able to perform a jump. Tap and slide on the screen to form a small jump, and then it'll begin drifting. So maybe it's just like a little small jump. We'll look at it in a minute. When manual drift is off, tap and slide the screen to steer your kart. Tap and slide from the drift button, that in the middle, on the bottom of the screen to perform a small jump and begin drifting. Note, big change, you can now perform ultra mini turbos even when the manual drift is off. It really confused me as to why they made it that wasn't available, so I think that's a welcome change, and a lot of people who have that setting, that'll make a big difference potentially in certain situations. I opt to go for the manual drift on. Personally, it fits my style of driving, but that's going to be a good boost to those who do it, who use that function. We've got a list of tickets that's been added, so we can take a look at that now. It's on your screen now, and I think this is a really good addition because it definitely needed it. I was wondering why they didn't have an inventory, but it just gives all your tickets. I mean, gliders, I have 35 gliders tickets, right? Point boost tickets, and I have no gliders to use them on. That's slightly depressing. I need to get some gliders, but when I do get them, I'll be able to throw them into them and hopefully max them out very quickly. Level boost tickets, gonna give you a good idea of what things you can work on. See, I've got glider and 2 tickets towards my main character for a high end, and I'm saving that. I'm waiting for something that has a really good, maybe something like with a coin box, but still haven't got Mario Hakama or Peach Vacation. So waiting on those to save them, and I definitely recommend saving up your level boost tickets for these types, the neutrals. Wait till one of them is quite high, and then not use it to increase that one. So you can see how many two more tickets before I can upgrade the parachute one. What do you call it, parachute? The parachute looking glider, and then I'll be able to max that out, get it to level 4. Now we've got a coin rush tickets as well placed here, star tickets and quick tickets. So I've got 3. Note when you use your quick tickets, if you boost for the first day, let's say the final construction of the final racetrack, the final cup is 8 days. If you take the first one, it will go down to 7. It's not that you've got to use it on the first day, and then now you've got to use 2 for the second day, then 3 tickets for the third day. It looks like it if you don't go jump to those. But yeah, if you unlock the final one, if you've saved up enough quick tickets, it will unlock all of those. That's something to think about if you're actually going for the top 1,000, because if you do that, you're going to have a huge advantage over people in getting a high total. And if you just want it for the fun of it, to have some experience of being in that, that's a good way to do it. Now, in addition to that change, we also have some other changes. Not as intense, but a new way to earn bonus points has been added. This is quite an interesting feature. Starting with the current tour, you can now earn bonus points for finishing a race in frenzy mode. Now, this may seem like a small and pointless change, but it's not, because there's always this feeling when you get a coin frenzy and you finish the race before you can use all of it up. And I think that's what this is for. It will allow you to get those extra points and think, okay, it's actually going to be advantageous for me to get to that finish line before my frenzy ends. Or if you're halfway through the frenzy, at least you don't have to think about that, all that you've lost in that other half that you could have, developed more points. You get that bonus. It'll be interesting to see how much that bonus is. We're going to be looking at in a second to see how advantageous it is. In addition to that, some gold pass text has been updated. Really minor change. It just talks about when the gold pass will be available. It's gone from available until 6 UTC to now until the daily reset. Other adjustments have been made, just notifications to better transition in the pipe, special offer and gold pass screens. Addressed issues affecting adding friends and linking SNS accounts, and addressed other minor issues. So not huge changes, but I think there's definitely quality of life or quality of play updates that I'm excited for. They've also put a little important note regarding known issues. So just if there are things that are affecting you, that you just know that they're in the works of it when they're into updating version 1.2.1, that they're trying to fix the problems with Android devices. Right, so now I'm just going to show you short clips of how does the manual drift being off compare to manual drift being on. Also, we're going to be taking a look at that rear view mirror, whether that change in position has improved your ability to use it without sliding whilst you're pressing it. And finally, also, we're going to try and hit that frenzy whilst crossing that finish line to see how big that bonus is. So with manual drift on, you can see we've got that arrow that is always on, which you can use as a guide to see where you're aiming towards something and help you in your steering. Personally, I don't like this being on. You can still drift with it on, just sliding around corners where you can continually slide to the right, but when you slide back, you'll lose the drift. Now, if you want to be able to have that drift, you can press that button. Let's move that bomb. You can hit the drift button at the bottom now. You'll see the arrow disappears and you go into drift mode. Now you can get the best of both of them whenever you want to in a race. Personally, it's going to take me some getting used to the steering with the arrow because I'm a drifter. Right, now let's see if we can finish off with a coin frenzy to see what this is like in terms of bonus. Picked a course where... Right, we've got frenzy. Now with frenzy, you get this red button that you can press to release some of the items. And you can see there, we finished with a frenzy. Therefore, we'll be getting the frenzy bonus. On this track, it's quite a good one to have that bonus on because, as you can see, I still had frenzy left to use up even after if we wouldn't have finished the race. Some courses, like Shy Guy Bazaar, not so good for it in terms of the bonus. You're probably going to be unlikely to get it because it's the final item box is quite far away from the finish line. So now we can go into our bonus points by looking at actions performed, and hopefully if we go to the end, we see a frenzy finish, giving us a massive, oh no, it's tiny, 164. I mean, it's a good bonus because it takes into account that you may have 3 more frenzies actions to put into practice, right? So technically, if I only had 3 frenzy actions left, that would be of quite a good benefit, being at 164. What it doesn't take into account is the fact that sometimes the actions also have hits. For example, with the banana one that I had I not crossed the line, there will have been people that probably still hit my bananas, but you don't rack up any points for it. But it's a nice addition. It definitely accounts for the levels where you're going to have a frenzy and finish with it. It's 164 points that we didn't have before that now we get. And it's interesting that they've added that red button, so to tap. I imagine that's its area of effect when you're trying to perform an action. An interesting addition to maybe some people who don't know that you have to tap it. Some people might be just having a frenzy driving and not thinking to tap it to use up the items. And then finally, we'll just take a look at manual drift when it is on. It is exactly the opposite. So drifting is the default ability, and you can do that by tapping anywhere on the screen. So if we start off now, I won't have the arrow to guide me that you have with manual drift turned off. So here we can see I'm drifting, there's no arrow, but I have the option to steer if I want. So by clicking the steer button, I now have the arrow to help guide me. It really just gives you the benefit of being able to steer and drift, so the best of both of them, whereas before, you could either perform one or the other. That guy got double hit by a green shell. So it's quite a nice addition to have. I think it is something that won't make a lot of difference for some of you if you're really comfortable drifting, but I'd imagine that there would be parts of the track, different race courses, where it is better to do one or the other, and maybe players who practice being able to perform both of them are able to do it, maybe able to get quicker times, things like that. I'm failing to see this jump though. It probably just means that it's jumping from the manual being on to the manual being off. And let's finish the race in first place. Get a little extra percentage. Okay, well, I think we covered everything in that. Hopefully that's been helpful for you guys and just kind of give you an idea of all the different changes that we're getting in this update. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the like button. It always helps the channel out. Hit subscribe if you want to keep up to date with future content. I'll be putting out videos on the new characters as soon as we got them, and also videos out on the challenges, so to be sure to check them out. That is all from this one. See you guys soon.